taking another shot at the welterweight belt this Saturday at UFC 171, which he should actually already be wearing. His left hand can take you out just as easy as his ground game. Welcome to the program, Johny Big Rig Hendricks.
Hey, thank you for having me. Y'all doing all right this morning?
We're good, man. Excited to have you on. We got to ask before we get into your fight with Lawler, the 5-round split decision it seems like the whole world was watching with George St. Pierre. You were so robbed in that fight. Was that call the most surprised you've ever been by a judge's decision?
In the last couple of years, yes. The way that I look at it is that everybody's human. Everybody, it's tough to be a judge a judge, a judge, and just look at it that way and move forward. Life's too short to hold a grudge, and hopefully I can come back and get it here in Dallas.
Well, that's a very mature attitude, but that must have been a tough ride home. Were you screaming in the car?
Yeah, realistically, whenever we got in the car, I still, it was like it didn't believe, like I didn't feel like I lost that fight, if that makes sense.
Oh, you didn't lose that fight.
You know what I mean? Like I was sitting there, I was just like, the only things that were hurt on me were my hands, and I walked to my room, or walked to an after party, and I did some shakings, some stuff with the fans, and then afterwards I was just like, you know what? It like for example, I don't know if it was my mind or my body. It just sort of shut out the fight until I was putting up a shadow box, and I looked at my record and it said 15-2.
You mentioned that the only thing hurt on you were your hands. I was looking at George St. Pierre. A, I was surprised that he was standing at the end of that fight. But B, I mean, he looked like a slab of prime rib that had gone through batting practice. He looked bad.
Well, that's it. Is that that's probably the worst he's ever looked after a fight. And I told everybody, I don't think he knew exactly where he was after the fight. It's just one of those things that you just got to, like I said, you can dwell on it and let it eat at you, or you can just be like, you know what, hey, crap happens, and move forward.
Oh, I think it's amazing that you're able to do that. My partner has a question for you.
Yeah. So I know that you were like a wrestler and stuff like that. I did karate as a kid. What sort of martial arts are you trained in?
Well, now in the last 6-7 years almost. Let's see here. I've done boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and of course wrestling.
Very well-rounded. And I have another question. So you have a lot of like really quick KOs. Do you aim for like a specific place on their face or on their body?
Yeah. What I try to do is the best time is to catch them before they get your timing. You know what I'm saying? And also, you can, realistically, what I learned out is that, I can knock people out in the second round. But sometimes it's the easiest when you don't have to throw that hard, is in the first couple of opening seconds, or the first minute or whatever, the first couple of engagements, because they don't have your timing down.
You've knocked people out in 12 seconds. That's awesome.
Well, realistically, what you can do is you can use your speed. You don't have to use power. And so what I've learned is, okay, I know I have power, I know I have speed. Let's combine the speed with some, not as much power, and try to interact with them very quickly and see where you're landing. Also a lot of mitt work. I love mitt work just because that does help me with my my accuracy. Accuracy is just as important as how hard you hit and how fast your hands are to knock somebody out.
Right.
Has a promoter ever kind of taken you aside before the fight and said, hey, Johnny, can you try not to knock him out so quick because we want people to drink the beer and buy the popcorn?
No. Sometimes it happens where you don't try to finish them. There's been fights that I've knocked people out that I'm like, I wanted to get through the first round with him so that way people don't sit there and say, oh, that was a lucky punch.
Reminds me of Clubber Lang. That was a one-time lucky punch, fool. Johny Hendricks, please, if you can hang on for a second, we'll be back. I want to talk about the title fight coming up on Saturday and also the beard. We'll pay some bills and play a tune and be back with the welterweight title fight with Matt Lawler on Saturday. Do you think this is a fight where that's going to end in a knockout?
Realistically, I don't know. What I try to do, okay, is I don't go in there with the attitude that, I'm going to knock him out, or, I'm just going to ground and pound him, I'm going to do this, or, I'm going to do that. What I try to do is I say, I want to knock him out, but I'm prepared for a 5-round war. The reason why I do that is because one thing I've learned is if I go in there for a knockout, I miss other opportunities to better myself for the round or for the fight. You know what I mean? And so if I go in there and say, hey, I'm open to anything, that's whenever good things can happen.
Does anything in Lawler's game worry you specifically?
He's got a heavy right hand, just like I do. He can knock anybody out, and you sort of have to be aware of that. You have to be cautious of that. You have to, but don't be so threatened by it. Realistically, I know I can knock anybody out. I really do. But there's sometimes, man, you just can't knock a guy out. So that's what I'm going with. Is that he has knockout power, but does it scare me? No.
You've got a good-looking beard. Do you think that's an advantage?
I'd like to think that it is, but it's just facial hair. Realistically, it's probably a negative because if you watch the UFC, they can put Vaseline all the way down to like your jawline, right? Well, whenever you have a beard, you can't put Vaseline that far down. They can't put Vaseline in your hair. So you only get it on the cheekbones, your nose, and your eyebrows. And one thing that sucks is that whenever you get hit by leather gloves, it actually grips better with hair.
No, I thought it would be a cushion, but no.
No. Like, there's times that I've been punched that I could feel, like, a couple of hairs from my beard getting ripped out.
Ooh.
And it sucks.
Do you condition? That might help.
Yeah. No, I do. I shampoo it. I condition it. I do everything. But it's just the fact that whenever leather meets hair and a surface in between the two, it just pulls out hair. I don't know why.
But still, this is not enough for you to shave the beard.
Oh no. It's part of my image.
I love it.
And not only that, but I like the beard. My wife doesn't so much, but the beard with me, I love it.
We're rooting for you, man. Like I said, I feel like that belt should already be yours. But best of luck this Saturday. Beat Lawler, and thanks so much for talking with us, Big Rig.